Sometimes things in life don't go as planned. That should not be a surprise to most, if not all, people. This album is, I guess, what you would call a testament to that. Ah! Jesus is King is the 9th solo studio album released by Kanye West. You have to specify that because he's done so many collaborations. But anyway, this is an interesting piece of work because, actually, I don't know what everyone's personal experience was like when this came out, because I think some people expected it as, I guess it was marketed as a gospel album, which I am going to rebuke just a little. And some other people probably thought it's just kind of a weird rap album. I guess I kind of lie on that. This is basically the way I see it. I listened to this album, and it is basically still a hip-hop album that has a lot of traditional gospel elements, which for me personally, I enjoy. That's not really how I sing gospel music when I go to church, but I can find some enjoyment out of it depending on how the lyrics are. But that's neither here nor there, because this album is neither here nor there at the same time. Kanye is going through kind of a change in life, I guess. And so he felt that this is kind of something that would take him onto a path that he would enjoy more, or be more at peace with, I suppose, with his music. There was a chance he was going to stop just rapping or doing hip-hop before. I would have been very shocked if that had actually happened. I think that you can still do great things with hip-hop, given I like listening to it. I like dancing and all that good stuff. But this is kind of a fascinating approach, if you will, to try and combine these two aspects. His talent resides in rhythm and poetry, rap. But he is definitely trying to immerse himself in a different kind of category. Now, I'm not going to say that I think every single one of these songs is perfect in that gospel-centric aspect, but when you make the comparison with the rest of his discography, it's kind of praiseworthy, depending on, I guess, where your values lie. For me personally, a lot of this album I will give strong credit to is that he is very good at making this album, I guess, 95 to 99% very clean. Again, just depends on how you look at lyrics and words in general. It's basically just something in its own category. That's all it really is. There are moments of this album where I am slightly perplexed, and there's other elements of this album where I'm just like, oh, you got my attention now. I'll keep listening. The first thing that I noticed that Kanye did with this album is the very first song, titled Every Hour, is not really him. I don't think he's in it at all, actually. He is basically just giving a choir introduction. A great, praiseworthy chorus coming in. And it's pretty. It is pretty. I think my perplexion with it is the fact that I don't feel like he is involved. Production-wise, I'm sure he's involved. But, yeah. That one was just like, okay, I guess this is our intro. We still don't know what we're getting yet. But it doesn't take long for us to get into kind of an idea of what he's going for. You have song titles such as Follow God, On God, Closed on Sunday, God Is, Use This Gospel. Like, you kind of get the idea. And these titles are utilized pretty well in the actual songs. Maybe the song that's probably getting a lot of attention is Closed on Sunday because of its Chick-fil-a reference. Listening to it, I do enjoy it, but at the same time, it is just a little borderline corny. And I think that's where a lot of gospel music has problems, because so much of it should be enjoyable and embodying some spiritual aspects. But a lot of gospel music, in my personal experience, can be very corny or try to just overdo it. Here, it's just like, okay, I get it. This is Kanye music, but it's like, all right, he's messing around with it a little bit. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to just listen to it, but I'm like just barely getting on board at this point. The song "Everything We Need" was enjoyable to listen to, especially with Ty Dolla $ign featured on it. Ty Dolla $ign has always been someone who I feel like is a great additional vocalist. As a solo artist, I'm kind of up in the air with him, but a vocalist, he is talented, very much so indeed. If any of you are on the fence of what kind of music this is, if you're not really into gospel, or if you're not really into hip hop, or if you're not really into either, if you don't have any clue what this album might be like, and if you definitely feel like it's not for you, I would challenge the one song you could listen to and just kind of enjoy the musical aspect of it, where I feel everything kind of comes even circle, is the song "Water." Again, I don't know what everyone's actual experience is going to be like with this album, but this song, I think, is kind of finding the best of all the worlds and maybe a little bit of its own. So give that one the best shot, I think. That one, I think, is the best shot of you finding something that you probably will find something to smile about. The song "Use This Gospel" also surprised me with the Kenny G feature. As a saxophonist myself, I have mixed feelings with the guy. I love a lot of his music, but I do have mixed feelings. But the inclusion here was well made. It was. It is surprising. Especially even if it was a regular Kanye album, it would still be surprising. And the song "Jesus Is Lord" closes out this album, and it's pretty dang short, but it gives its power really well. I think it fulfills its purpose. I do wish it lasted another 45 seconds or so, maybe just 30, I'm not sure. I find that was potentially some of the more power of the music that he created that I wanted in the album, even though I don't really have too many hypercritical things to talk about in this album. This is basically just some project that is, I don't know if a league of its own is the best word, but it is just its own thing. When people try to categorize things into genres, it makes us feel like we understand it better. And I could give a bunch of subcategories for it, but when you experience the album as a whole, you really don't know if it is doing the job of trying to understand what Kanye is trying to put out right here. A lot of people probably think Kanye's head has been screwed off and he just carries it around, or he's been chasing it. I want to think that Kanye has his head on. I don't know if it's screwed all the way around, but he has it on. His brain is functioning. I'm not sure. I think he's doing a lot better than people think. I worry about him, but I think he's also doing better. I think he just is trying to find a way to express himself a little bit differently, and we all know how that's gone over the years. But right here, I think this album has been a great outlet for him on a personal level, and for the rest of us, I think this is something that we've been able to enjoy, just seeing kind of a transformation in another person. Who knows what we'll get at this point? I really have no clue. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 93%, creativity 89%, expression and lyrics 86%, I'm going to give this album a yeah/good. I don't really know what to think that everyone else is going to like, but I'm kind of torn in this area where I'm like, this is really good, but it's also something that I don't feel like I'll return to too often. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.